My name is Madison Hayes, and I'm 32 years old. What happened at my sister Sophia's wedding still gets whispered about in our business community. 200 guests saw my mother slap me so hard that my diamond earring flew across the marble floor. The reason? I refused to hand over the keys to my $2 million penthouse during the reception speeches. But what nobody expected was what happened 45 minutes later, when Marcus Chen, the CEO of Hayes Capital, walked through the ballroom doors with 2 lawyers beside him. My mother screamed so loudly people on the 3rd floor heard it. Because Marcus was not just my boss. He controlled 40% of my father's company. Before we get into this, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if this story truly resonates with you. And drop your location and local time in the comments. I want to know where you are right now. Let me take you back to that morning. I arrived at the Grandview Hotel at exactly 8 a.m., 3 hours before the ceremony. The ballroom was beautiful. White roses, gold chairs, crystal glasses lined up like soldiers. Everything looked expensive, elegant, and exactly like the wedding Sophia had dreamed about since we were little girls. I had contributed $50,000 toward it. Nobody knew that. Or maybe they knew and simply decided not to mention it. My mother, Carol, saw me before I even reached the bridal suite. Her eyes moved from my hair to my navy silk dress, then to my shoes. "Madison," she said, already disappointed. "Couldn't you have worn something softer? You look like you're heading to a board meeting, not your sister's wedding." I smoothed the front of my dress. "Good morning to you too, Mom." She ignored that. "Sophia looks radiant," she said. "A proper bride. You should see how she glows." That was my role in the family. Sophia glowed. I managed things. Sophia was 29, sweet when people were watching, soft-spoken when it benefited her, and perfect in every way my parents valued. She was the golden child, the daughter who wanted the big wedding, the traditional life, the husband, the house, the babies, and my mother's constant approval. I was the ambitious one, the difficult one, the one who worked 80-hour weeks, flew red-eye flights, negotiated multi-million-dollar deals, and still got introduced at family dinners as our Madison, still very career-focused. My father, Richard Hayes, was no better. "Madison," he called from near the seating chart. "Can you check the tables? But don't reorganize everything like you always do." I looked at the chart. It was a disaster. Divorced couples were seated together. 2 business rivals were at table 8. Aunt Patricia was beside the cousin she hadn't spoken to in 6 years. But I said, "Of course, Dad. I'll make sure everything is perfect for Sophia." He nodded like I had finally understood my purpose. "Family comes first," he said. "You'll understand that when you have your own family, if you ever settle down." There it was. At 32, my unmarried status was treated like a public failure. It didn't matter that I was vice president of development at Hayes Capital. It didn't matter that I managed our Asia-Pacific expansion. It didn't matter that I had closed the Singapore deal that brought the company $40 million in new revenue. To them, I was still the daughter without a ring, the daughter without children, the daughter who had somehow failed by becoming successful. During the pre-ceremony mingling, Aunt Sally asked, "So Madison, how's that little apartment of yours in the city?" "It's a penthouse, actually," I said quietly. The group laughed. "A penthouse?" Aunt Sally wiped her eyes. "Oh, Madison, you and your big city dreams." Sophia drifted over in her wedding dress, looking like a magazine cover. "She exaggerates," she said sweetly. "Last year she said she bought a Tesla." "I did buy a Tesla," I said. "It was parked outside. Nobody heard me." Uncle Tom patted my shoulder. "There's no shame in living modestly, kiddo." My phone buzzed. It was a notification from my building concierge confirming a delivery to my 4,500 square foot penthouse on the 45th floor. The penthouse I had bought in cash after the Singapore deal. Floor-to-ceiling windows, private elevator, skyline views from every room. I could have shown them. I could have pulled up the photos. But then what? I would only be proving that I still needed them to believe me. So I smiled and said, "You're right, Uncle Tom. There's no shame in living within your means." Sophia laughed. "See? Madison is finally learning to be realistic." I walked to the window and looked out at the skyline. 10 years. That was how long it had taken me to become the woman they refused to see. 10 years of missed holidays, cheap dinners at my desk, hotel rooms in cities where I didn't know anyone, and boardrooms full of men waiting for me to fail. That penthouse was not just property. It was proof. Proof that I had built something they could not take credit for. Or so I thought. Because 20 minutes later, I heard my father whisper to my mother near the champagne table. "After the toast, we'll announce the penthouse." My body went still. Mom whispered back, "Are you sure Madison will agree?" Dad gave a small laugh. "She won't have a choice. Not in front of everyone. She's too proud to make a scene at her sister's wedding." Then my mother said the sentence that froze my blood. "Besides, what does she need a penthouse for? It's not like she has a family to fill it." That was the moment everything became clear. This was not a misunderstanding. This was an ambush. If you've ever been treated like your hard work belongs to everyone except you, type "I see you" in the comments. Because I see you. And what happened next was the moment I stopped being the family ATM. The ceremony was beautiful. Sophia cried at the right moments. Brian looked nervous but happy. My parents beamed, like they had personally invented love. Then came the reception. The band was playing softly. Waiters moved through the room with champagne. 200 guests filled the ballroom. Business associates, relatives, family friends, my father's clients, and several people from my own professional network. Then Dad stood up and tapped his spoon against his glass. The room quieted. "Before we continue celebrating," he said into the microphone, "Carol and I want to give Sophia and Brian something special." My stomach dropped. He smiled at the crowd. "As you all know, family means everything to us. There is nothing we wouldn't do for our children's happiness. Children, plural." But his eyes were on Sophia. "That's why we're thrilled to announce that Madison has graciously agreed to give Sophia and Brian her city penthouse as a wedding gift." The ballroom exploded in applause. Sophia pressed both hands to her chest, pretending to be shocked. "Oh my God, Madison," she said into her microphone. "Are you serious? The penthouse?" Every face turned toward me. My champagne glass felt heavy in my hand. They had planned it perfectly. The public announcement. Sophia's fake surprise. The emotional pressure. The crowd waiting for me to smile, nod, and surrender the home I had worked 10 years to earn. Dad waved me forward. "Come up here, sweetheart. Let's have the whole family together." I placed my champagne glass on the table and stood. The room slowly quieted. "I'm sorry," I said clearly. "What?" Dad's smile tightened. "Your penthouse. For Sophia and Brian. That was not discussed with me. That was not discussed with me." A ripple passed through the room. Mom took the microphone from Dad. "It's a wedding gift from the family." "It's my property," I said. "And I haven't agreed to anything." The whispers started immediately. How selfish. On her sister's wedding day? She can afford another place. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "Madison," she said softly, "I thought you'd want me to be happy. Your happiness does not require my home." Dad's face darkened. "It's just a property. You can buy another one. Then you buy her one." The room gasped. Someone actually booed. Brian stepped forward, trying to look reasonable. "Madison, please. We'd take good care of it." "I'm sure you would," I said. "But the penthouse is not available." Aunt Sally called from table 5. "It's family," Uncle Tom added. "You don't even have a family to fill it. Sophia needs it more." That one landed, but I did not move. I had stood in boardrooms where men tried to corner me over contracts worth millions. I had survived negotiations in Singapore, Tokyo, and Dubai. I was not going to break because my family decided my life mattered less than Sophia's comfort. "The penthouse is not available," I repeated. Then my phone buzzed in my clutch. 3 missed calls from MC. Marcus Chen, my boss, my mentor, the man who had believed in me when my own family did not. The same man who controlled 40% of my father's company through a private investment structure my father had never fully understood. His text said, "Saw the live stream. On standby. Live stream." I looked across the room and saw Brian's younger brother with his phone propped up near table 6. A red live icon blinked on the screen. They were broadcasting this. My father saw me looking. His own phone buzzed. His face started losing color. Another text came from Marcus. "Your call. Say the word." 6 months earlier, when I bought the penthouse, Marcus had insisted on adding a clause to the paperwork because the property had originally been part of my executive compensation package. Clause 15.3, Protection against third-party coercion. At the time, I had laughed. My family is difficult, I told him, not dangerous. Marcus had only said, people feel entitled to successful women. Protect what you build. Now I understood. Mom stepped down from the head table, still holding the microphone. Madison Hayes, she said, her voice shaking with rage. You will not embarrass this family. I'm not the one creating a scene. We raised you better than this. You raised Sophia, I said. I raised myself. The room went silent. Mom stopped 3 feet in front of me. Her perfume was the same suffocating floral scent I remembered from childhood. Give your sister the keys, she hissed. No, one word. Calm, final. Her face twisted. You selfish, ungrateful girl. Then she slapped me. The sound cracked through the ballroom. My head snapped to the side. My cheek burned instantly. My diamond earring flew off and landed somewhere on the marble floor with a tiny, delicate ping. Nobody moved. Not the waiters. Not the photographer. Not my father. Even the children at table 15 went silent. My mother's hand stayed suspended in the air like she could not believe what she had done. I did not touch my cheek. I did not cry. I simply looked at the floor, found my earring 10 feet away, and walked toward it. My heels clicked against the marble. One step, then another. I bent down, picked up the earring, and put it back on. That small action took maybe 30 seconds. It felt like 30 years. Then I looked at Sophia. Congratulations, I said. I hope your marriage brings you joy. I picked up my clutch and walked out. Dad called after me. Madison, wait. I did not turn around. The moment I reached the elevator, I called Marcus. He answered on the first ring. Madison? Green light, I said. His voice changed. Understood. How long do I have? Give me 45 minutes to get home. Are you hurt? I touched my cheek. Nothing that won't heal. Execute the contingency. And Marcus? Yes? Bring the shareholder agreement. The one my father never read. With pleasure, he said. 45 minutes later, I was in my penthouse with an ice pack against my face, watching the city lights through the glass walls. Marcus texted, entering the building now. Then, Richard just saw me. Then, your mother is screaming. A minute later, my phone rang. It was Marcus. You're on speaker, he said. I'm here with your parents and their guests. The ballroom was silent in the background. Then Marcus spoke, calm and sharp. Richard, I need to clarify something for everyone present. Madison Hayes is not a middle manager. She is vice president of development at Hayes Capital. She manages our entire Asia-Pacific expansion. I heard gasps. That's impossible, my father said weakly. The Singapore deal that netted us $40 million? Marcus continued. Madison led that. The Tokyo office? Madison built that. The Samsung partnership? Madison negotiated every detail. My mother's voice cut through. You're lying. Mrs. Hayes, Marcus said. Your daughter is one of the most valuable executives in this city. The penthouse you tried to take was part of her executive compensation structure, and your attempt to coerce her into surrendering it, on a live stream now viewed over 20,000 times, activates Clause 15.3. Dad's voice cracked. What clause? Page 47 of the agreement you signed 5 years ago. Moral conduct, coercion, leadership risk. As someone who owns 40% of your company, I am deeply concerned by what I witnessed tonight. This is family business, Dad snapped. No, Marcus said. You made it public. That made it mine. My father tried to speak, but Marcus continued. Richard, you have 48 hours to issue a public apology to Madison, a real one. You will acknowledge her professional achievements and her right to her own property. Carol will do the same and stay away from Madison permanently. Or what? My mother demanded. Or I call an emergency board meeting. Your company needs my capital for the expansion project. Without it, you are looking at bankruptcy within 6 months. Sophia started crying. This was supposed to be my special day. I finally spoke. Sophia, I didn't do anything to you. I refused to give you my home. Everything else, the announcement, the pressure, the slap, that was Mom and Dad's choice. You're cruel, she whispered. No, I said. I'm just done being your family's sacrifice. The line went quiet. Then Marcus said, the documents are served. Madison, I'll see you Monday. When the call ended, I stood alone in my penthouse. My cheek still stung, but something inside me felt lighter. Within 2 hours, the video was everywhere. Sophia called 15 times. I did not answer. Mom texted, "You ruined everything. Are you happy now?" Dad texted, "We need to talk. Please." Then, the business messages started. 3 of Dad's biggest clients had seen the video. One terminated a $3 million annual contract that night. 2 others requested immediate meetings. By Monday morning, 6 contracts were gone. Brian's family postponed the honeymoon and demanded counseling before they would continue supporting the marriage. My mother refused to apologize and posted a rant online calling me selfish, cold, and corrupted by corporate culture. People screenshot it thousands of times. Dad's apology came 47 hours after Marcus gave him the deadline. It was stiff, lawyer-written, but public. He acknowledged my work, my property, and his inappropriate conduct. It was the first time in 32 years he admitted I had achieved anything. The board promoted me that same week. Senior Vice President of Global Operations. The raise came with stock options and a bonus large enough to buy another penthouse if I wanted one. I donated a large part of it to a women's shelter that helped people leave abusive family and domestic situations. That felt better than revenge. Sophia texted me 1 week later. "You ruined my life. Brian's family thinks we're toxic." I replied, "They're not wrong." She wrote, "I hate you." I answered, "I know." Then I blocked her. People ask if I regret what happened. I regret that it had to happen in public. I regret that 200 people saw my mother hit me. I regret that I spent most of my life trying to earn love from people who only valued me when they needed something. Sophia, but I do not regret saying no. Because that one word gave me back my life. No. No, you cannot take my home. No, you cannot use family as a weapon. No, you cannot shame me into surrendering what I built. No, I will not make myself smaller so Sophia can feel bigger. Months later, I still live in that penthouse. Every morning, sunlight fills the windows, and the city stretches beneath me like proof. Not proof for them, proof for me. I built this, I earned this, and I kept it. If you are watching this, and you have been the invisible child, the family ATM, the one expected to sacrifice quietly while everyone else is celebrated, listen to me. Your success is not community property. Your boundaries are not cruelty. And saying no does not make you selfish. Sometimes the people who call you ungrateful are only angry because you finally stopped being useful. Did I get revenge? No. Revenge is destruction. What I got was freedom. And that is something no one in my family can ever take from me again. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment. Tell me your story. Or just write, "I'm here." And subscribe if you want more stories about boundaries, truth, and the moment someone finally chooses themselves.